Black Ops 6 Season 2 launches in a few days, and with it we're going to see a handful of new things across the varying modes. Well, not really Warzone, but they're attempting to fry bigger fish in making the game stable. But for multiplayer and zombies, we've got a decent bit of stuff on deck. And of the long reveal video we did the other day, one of the things we didn't quite get the time to fully dedicate to and dive into was that of the weapons. So as always with a new season, I want to take a look at the new weapons coming in Season 2 for Black Ops 6 and give you the rundown of everything that you'll need to know about them. Drop your thoughts below. What do you think of the upcoming weaponry in Season 2? If you enjoy the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 coverage. Also, make sure to follow over on Twitch. We're getting back into the whole going live thing, and I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, let's get into it. So firstly, the core weaponry, these being the weapons in the Battle Pass. Firstly, the PPSH is the sort of prominent one here with this. That SMG going to be part of the Battle Pass on page 6, the HVT tier reward, meaning you have to complete that page of the Battle Pass sector. It'll come along with 35 levels to grind through to max it all out, but it's described as a full auto SMG with a fast firing rate and impressive damage and high recoil, with moderate handling. It's also described a little further, saying make mincemeat out of the competition with return of the fan favorite World War II era PPSH 41 SMG, boasting an incredibly fast fire rate that makes short work of enemies at close range. Tame its unpredictable recoil by firing in bursts, or empty the whole clip in hip fire engagements. Consider the extended mag, assault pack field upgrade, or the scavenger perk to keep you from running dry in long fights and keep pushing forward to maximize your damage. So I mean, not a whole ton to say here. It seems like the base magazine will be something you want to upgrade immediately, but other than that, the PPSH has been in COD for multiple games. So you're probably used to it. You probably know what to expect. It's a classic. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get hands-on for sure. Next, though, we have the Cypher 91, an assault rifle on Battle Pass page 8. Again, another HVT reward where it's going to be something you have to complete that whole page of the Battle Pass. This coming with 42 levels to rank through. It's described as a full auto assault rifle with slower rate of fire balanced by great handling and excellent mobility. Further described saying, for versatility, few weapons outshine the Cypher 91. With excellent range, handling, and mobility, the weapon performs well in a variety of engagements. With clear front mounted iron sights, minimum muzzle smoke, and controllable recoil, this AR makes for easy target acquisition even without an attached optic. To top it off, its fast reload speed reduces downtime between mags, getting you straight back into the fight. This in description kind of reminds me of the Groza from Cold War, but with the mention of a slower rate of fire. That's obviously not exactly what it would be like, but if it's good with mobility and handling, you could easily kit the Groza to be that as well, a sort of medium to closer range assault rifle build that would be good for, say, like a sniper support if you're trying to overkill or take it into Warzone or something like that. Curious to see if that comparison holds up, but then we also have the Feng 82 and LMG at Battle Pass 3 as an HVT reward, again, requiring you to complete all of the items in that page. But Battle Pass page 3, so this might be the first weapon you encounter, especially if you don't have that black cell sort of pick and choose where you want to start bonus that comes along with that. But the Feng 82 comes along with 48 levels. It's described as a full auto light machine gun with a very slow rate of fire with great damage and handling, but it also says it possesses the best accuracy and handling in its class. The Feng 82 LMG offers a more aggressive front line option for players looking to stay in the thick of the fight without losing the LMG firepower expected of the weapon type. While the base magazine size is lower than its peers, the 5 magazines provided ensures that you'll still have a lot of ammo to chew through before running low. The weapon features a reliable 3 to 4 shot elimination out to 50 meters with moderate upward recoil that can be mitigated via controlled bursts, as well as several gunsmith attachments offering improved vertical recoil control. And this one, honestly, to me, sounds really interesting and potentially really good for all modes. Obviously, most weapons can shine in MP. You might have a little bit of trouble if it is that slow rate of fire by comparison to it, but in Warzone with things like Armor in particular, obviously, we've seen a healthy number of LMGs become dominant and considered meta in recent years, and with the base magazine being lower, a best-in-class accuracy and handling, if you're accurate, this might actually be something that turns into something that is a front runner perhaps for weapons you might want to consider. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to like rifle accuracy and handling, but with LMG damage. Again, the only thing you might want to consider is that lower rate of fire that could get you in a little bit of trouble if you take a shot first before returning fire. But anyways, those are your battle pass weapons and what you'll have available from the season start. It seems like shortly after the launch here in the window, the TR2, a marksman rifle, is going to be added as an event reward. Now, what event that will be, it's not yet stated, but it's said to have 39 levels and is a semi-auto marksman rifle with a great rate of fire and respectable handling. Now, if the image on screen looks familiar, it's because it should. It's the FAL in a renamed capacity. It's also said to feature the best-in-class handling and is ideal for fast-moving sharpshooters seeking to combine mobility with precision and power. Its rapid recentering speed encourages quick follow-up shots without losing sight of your target and eliminating unarmored enemies in 3 to 4 shots out to 100 meters, which is a very long distance. But I'm curious to see what that closer quarters damage will be like, how many shots it takes to kill there, because at that kind of distance, then you're still having the argument of, okay, the Ames or Krig or XM4 can still melt players with a very controllable recoil in 5 to 6 shots. So how much more beneficial is that? But I'm imagining up close, it's very powerful in that sense. But whether you opt for a long-range optic to engage enemies at a distance or prefer close fights, the TR2's ease of use promises a good outcome in the hands of a trained operator. So this, with the focus of the fast rate of fire and recentering speeds, it does kind of seem like this is going to be the faster builds of the comparable FALs of the past. A snappy 2-shot kill perhaps in close to medium range, and then of course outwards of 3 to 4 to 100 meters, which is again still a long distance, especially for something like MP. But what a good way to bring back a classic. But those are your base weapons that have already been revealed. It said additional ordnance is going to be coming in Season 2, where it's going to offer incredible choices of armaments for operators favoring close combat takedowns, and you can expect to see your fill of melee loadout slots with multiple additional hand-to-hand weapons coming at mid-season, plus a rip-roaring projectile armament coming later on, with information around the Season 2 Reloaded blog coming later. But the wording used throughout the blog, including in that last paragraph, to me suggests we might be seeing another crossover of decent note, one that heavily centers around, well, melees. Expect to fill your melee loadout slot with multiple additional hand-to-hand weapons coming at mid-season, and when mentioning grind returning later in season, they said expect an additional surprise related to this map later in the season, where, you know, grind is a skateboarding map, and we've seen a melee leaked of a skateboard before. It's been rumored for a while that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover would return, that we've seen a handful of those melee weapons already leak out, and with mention of multiple coming throughout the season, I think it's quite possible that could be the case, but also I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Just noting the coincidences here. Beyond the weapons themselves, we know, of course, of special weapon attachments coming here in a various different number of ways. The crossbow attachment, available for assault rifles, the SWAT 5.56, and the AEK, is going to be an underbarrel attachment that is a part of the Battle Pass page 7. That's going to be something that is a cool attachment, but I know that I've seen comments mentioning, hey, I'd love to just see the actual crossbow weapon, not an attachment. So that might be something you lean one way or the other on. There's going to be, in the launch window, an event reward of the full auto mod for the AEK. That's something that I'm very curious to see how that plays out, because as we've talked about, the AEK for a long time was one of the best weapons in multiplayer, not necessarily within Warzone, but taking that marksman rifle damage, the burst damage at that, and then dispersing it evenly across a full auto modification, that could be something that makes it a very good weapon once again. The binary trigger is going to be coming as an event reward in the launch window as well for the Tonto 22 SMG, which is going to make it become semi-automatic, but firing 2 shots, one on trigger pull and one on trigger release. So something that kind of is a rapid fire semi-auto mod, meaning you could probably maximize that rate of fire compared to the slower rate of fire that it has in full auto by default. And then you have the belt-fed attachment as an event reward coming at mid-season, so still a little ways down the line, but part of Season 2 no less, where it's going to have 3 attachments for LMGs. This is going to be similar to the Cordite in Black Ops 4 is how I'm imagining this, where it's an extreme amount of ammo that continuously is fed through sustained fire as described, but overheating is also a concern, so you seemingly won't have to reload. You have a ton of ammo to work with, but it is something you still have to be conscious of, that overheating. Again, very similar to how the Cordite worked within Black Ops 4. But that's your weaponry of Season 2. If you haven't completed what we have with Season 1 just yet, just a reminder, prior weapons of past seasons will be going into the Armory. So if you pick up the game here at the tail end of the season, perhaps, for example, or you haven't played too much since Season 1 launched, and you still want to get those weapons, they're going to go into the Armory. Same thing with every season going into the future. All incompleted weapons through the Battle Pass, event content, and the likes. However, functional items are introduced. If you don't complete them initially, you'll just end up having to go to the Armory, activate them, and then unlock them through just general XP that is gained. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but just know you're not going to be missing out on those big ticket things that actually affect your gameplay. But the final thing I want to mention here is something we bring into the equation every single time we talk about weapons. But with new weapons being introduced this season means that it's more weapons to use to skip in camo grinding, making your camo grind to Dark Matter, Nebula, or Abyss even easier. To date, after all of these are introduced, these four will end up having the introductions of 2 rifles, 2 SMGs, 1 LMG, 1 marksman rifle, 1 sniper rifle, 1 shotgun, 1 special, and 2 melees, meaning that is 11 additional weapons to work with when for Dark Matter, Nebula, or Abyss, you only need 33 weapons completed to end up doing that. But of course, you still have those sort of categorical barriers that you have to overcome. But that means with 11 of these weapons, you now have a solid number of combinations of weapon categories that you could theoretically skip. So just from doing these extra rifles, gold, diamond, dark spine, dark matter, or their equivalents, you could skip either the melees or the launchers in their entirety. You wouldn't have to touch the knives or the launchers. If you do both additional rifles and both additional SMGs, you could skip the entire category of marksman rifles, the snipers, the shotguns, or both the launchers and the melees. You see where I'm going with this here? The more that we have now with this means you can skip the more annoying weapons if you don't want to do them. The only issue that you might have with this, and I highly doubt that many people will care, is that if you're the ultra completionist and you want that mastery calling card, that secret calling card for getting all 3 mastery camos across multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, that, unless changed in Season 2 upcoming, is only granted to players who have all 3 mastery camos completed on the base weapons from the game's launch. Not just 33 weapons with Dark Matter, Nebula, or Abyss, but those 33 launch weapons that came on day 1, completing it on those. So a fair warning, but also one that probably is unnecessary for the majority of players out there. Like if you're like me, you just want to get those camos and skip the annoying ones if you're taking this into consideration. Like I think that I'm absolutely going to be skipping the melees and launchers when I inevitably go for Abyss later on down the line after completing Nebula, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But to date, you're going to have a lot of weapons you can help skip in that grind, and even more as time progresses and we get more through Season 2 Reloaded, Season 3 Reloaded, and so on and so forth. But anyways, that's the weapons and everything that you need to know about them here in Season 2 upcoming. So let me know your thoughts down below. Is there any weapon in particular you're really looking forward to? Any weapon you're hoping to see later on down the line at Season 2 Reloaded and whatever's introduced there? Let me know, and make sure to drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video or found it at all insightful, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and Season 2 coverage. We've got a lot upcoming that you guys won't want to miss. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.